to Already by Mama. This is Already by Mama.
Good day. My name is Ololade, the bankable Ola. Welcome on board this flight Already by Mama. Today we'll be taking on a very important topic that affects almost every air traveler. What causes them? Who and what could be responsible? And if time permits, what could be your compensation as a passenger if you get affected? Flight delays. Keep your seatbelt securely fastened and come with us on this flight.
Uncle, good afternoon. They have moved the flight again, oh.
A quick backstory about Ife and a multiple rescheduled flight situation. Ife is a young guy living in Lagos. His uncle invited him to Owerri for a life-changing opportunity. Unfortunately, his flight kept being rescheduled.
Attention please. Molue Air Flight 4569 to Owerri has been cancelled due to operational reasons. Thank you.
Wait, what? Cancelled? Which kind joke be this one?
Still in denial that it couldn't be his flight, he approached the airline's counter.
Hi, please check. This isn't the flight ticket that got cancelled, right?
Sorry sir, it was cancelled due to bad weather.
I left VI and got here before 5:30 a.m.
Apologies, sir.
So what now? No flight today again?
Owerri Airport closes at sunset. Even if the aircraft leaves Kano now, it cannot be operated. Till tomorrow, please.
Uncle, my flight just got cancelled, but I'm going to buy a bus ticket right now.
Don't bother, I can't help you anymore.
Ask for a refund from the airline. You can invest it on something else.
The feedback meant that Ife lost this opportunity as he couldn't go on this flight. Let's delve into this topic to learn more.
This is Already by Mama.
Welcome back. Joining us in the studio today is a seasoned aviation specialist who came into the industry as a ticketing and reservation officer and grew through the ranks. He was a head of ground operations with a prestigious airline at some point and is currently the station manager for a leading international airline. Meet Mr. Aminu Isa Suleiman. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Bankable Ola. Pleasure to be here.
Also, with us in the studio is Mr. Frank Ifeanyichukwu, a mechanical engineer and a venture capitalist in the digital marketing space. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Ola.
Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to dive right into the topic for the day, flight delays. And I know that with your wealth of experience, you're going to be able to take us through the topic, everything about it. But let's hear about you first, a brief introduction about yourself, and then we'll go into the topic.
Thank you very much, Bankable Ola. Like I said, my name is Aminu Isa Suleiman. I currently act in the capacity of the station manager for an international airline here in Nigeria. And I've been in the industry for a little over 2 decades. And in this space of time, I've worked in several capacities. I've been a TNR officer, I've been a duty manager, I've been a station manager, I've been the head of ground operations. You know, a lot has passed through my hands, and I thank God for the ability to these various capacities.
So what's a TNR? Because, I mean, not all of us.
Oh, a TNR is a ticketing and reservation officer.
Oh, why is it TNR?
That's an aviation acronym.
Oh.
Ticketing and reservation.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ifeanyi here to please just give us a brief about yourself.
Okay, thank you. I'm Frank Ifeanyichukwu, and I'm a mechanical engineer. Also, I'm a founder of a digital marketing company, and which is focused on applying digital marketing experiences to solve problems and e-commerce as well. Yes. So peradventure, because of the line of work I do, I have to fly a lot. And that is why I have a lot of questions to ask you today.
We're glad to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Aminu, we want to hear about, so we're talking about flight delays. We want to know first what causes them.
All right, thank you very much, Bankable Ola. The thing is this, there are a plethora of reasons why we have flight delays. And a good thing you're here as a frequent flyer, some of them will be enumerated during this conversation. Now, I'd like to divide them basically into four parts. First is the one on the airline side. Second is the one on the government side. That's the facility owners, the airports authorities. Third will be the God factor. Then the fourth will be passengers themselves, and I'll explain that when I get to that part. Now, for the first one, which is the airline, some airlines are known to spread themselves so thin. They want to go everywhere with limited number of machines, which makes their flight program very it's compacted in sort of a way that they're doing too much more than they can accommodate with the number of airplanes that they have. That could be a problem. Number two, the maintenance culture of some of these airlines could also be a contributory factor, because when you hear of flight delays and all of that, it's either an aircraft is breaking down and all of that. Then let's move a little bit now to the government aspect, which covers the wide range of the expectations of these airlines and even passengers from the government, from the airport facilities. Now, you have some airports, like the local airport in Lagos, we normally call GAT, that's the General Aviation Terminal. You have just one scanner at the security point before passengers move from the check-in area to the boarding area. For some airlines, they have almost 13 departures between 6:30 and 8:30. And each of these flights could have up to 100 and over passengers. So what that means is that you're looking at 1,300 passengers going through one screening. So essentially, it slows down the process of screening passengers through the security screening point, and it amasses for us some form of delay. Now, what I always explain to people is that for every 30 minutes delay you have out of your first departure, if that aircraft is doing 4 sectors, by the end of the fourth sector, you would have accrued for yourselves a 2 hours delay. Every 30 minutes from the departure becomes 1 hour at the next arrival, becomes 1 hour 30 minutes at the third arrival, and just like that, you keep carrying on the delays. But you see, these are the things that passengers are not aware of. When you tell them, it becomes like, oh, you guys are lying. There's a trust issue between passengers and the airline operators. That's one aspect of the government's responsibility to the airlines, which eventually trickles down to the passengers. Then another aspect again is the aerodrome facilities. We are talking about baggage handling systems. How quickly can the baggage of the passenger that's been checked in gets to the baggage makeup area and eventually gets into the aircraft? When you have frequent breakdowns of the machine, it affects the departure of that flight. Another way again to look at it is when you hear things about tech. Oh, we have issues with tech. When you look at the root cause of the tech, it could be bird strike. By that, it means that when an aircraft is taking off, when it's landing, a swarm of birds just fly directly into the engines. It's a safety issue. It has to be looked at. It has to be cleared. It has to be authorized and certified okay to fly by the CAA before you go ahead, and all of this takes time. I'll give you a brief instance, something that happened somewhere in Asaba. Let me be specific. It's very funny, but it's true. It happened. Aircraft was about taking off, and a family of deer, deer, this animal.
Those cute animals.
Yeah, pretty animals, brown with white dots and all of that, ran right across the runway while the aircraft was taking off. And boom, the aircraft picked about 2 or 3 of them in Asaba.
Did you kill them?
Definitely now. That thing runs at a terrific speed. You understand? So when that happens, ordinarily they had to abort takeoff, and that aircraft actually was grounded. Now, the ground time depends on, bringing engineers to come and check the engine if it's still okay to operate out of that station. Because I tell you, all the blades in front of them, they are aligned at a particular degree. 1 degree out of the alignment can cause a lot of harm. So it's not something you do in a hurry and leave.
So there were passengers on board. The aircraft had to go back.
Go back to bay, disembark passengers, and not just those passengers. Now, like I said, we do sector flights. Now, that aircraft was supposed to do Lagos, Asaba, Asaba, Abuja, Abuja, Asaba, Asaba, Lagos. That's 4 sectors. So you see, only 1 sector was actually accomplished. The other 3 had to wait.
Yes.
So, but from their own view, they don't know all of this. Probably he was maybe the passenger is on the Asaba back to Abuja back to Asaba sector.
Yeah.
He'll be wondering that, come on, why are you people announcing a delay of 30 minutes, 1 hour, or sometimes it's indefinite, because you cannot tell particularly when the engineers will be done with their task. And trust me, like I said, this task are not something you just gloss over.
Yes.
There's a checklist you must follow. 1, 2, 3 chronologically. And after you're done, you just have to call the CAA, who will come and vet your work, ask you to do a test run, and after you're done with your test run, if the result comes out positive, before you can operate.
Yeah.
So that's a major, major, major challenge.
Okay. So listening to you, these things are still avoidable. Am I correct?
Yes, they are avoidable. Like in the case of the deer I talked about.
Yeah.
If we had what we call a perimeter fence in place around the Asaba airport, animals will not have access to the runway or the operational area of the airport.
It's possible to have an airport without perimeter fence.
Oh, there are so many airports without perimeter fence in Nigeria. Funnily.
Okay, but outside Nigeria, is that possible?
Well, I've only been to a few countries outside Nigeria, but I would say categorically, like the last time I traveled sometime in April to Charles de Gaulle in Paris.
Okay.
There's no way Charles de Gaulle would not have perimeter fence. It's impossible.
Because
But I've worked in Benin, I've worked in Asaba, I've worked in Enugu. Enugu, at some point, you had people who were playing football.
You're joking, no?
Playing football at the end of the runway. I'm not joking.
This is already by Mama.
Yes.
So imagine a ball running across.
No, not even the ball running across. So you find that airports without perimeter fencing are susceptible to all these types of animals coming across. Like I said about Enugu, you find people playing football at the blast area. The blast area is the back end of the airplane when it's about to take off.
Yes.
Yeah, so when your engines are on, they are at optimal capacity and they're blasting and all of that. If the captain decides to go ahead, he'll be killing a lot of people.
Hey.
So what happens is you have to call the air traffic control to tell them to find a way to remove the people from the blast area. So if you're talking about government, there's a whole lot they need to do in that regard to make sure that flights can operate in a safe environment where I will not have something on my conscience because I just had to go catch up another rotation somewhere. So all of this counts. Then one of the other reasons you could have delays is when you have civil unrest or war, like what is currently happening in Iran right now.
Yeah.
If you look at Flight Radar, the entire airspace of Iran, Israel, and some other locations in the Middle East, they're empty. You don't want to fly over such areas because they could just mistake you for an F-16 and blow you down. Yeah. So what that does
every
is
aircraft in that airspace may be a suspect.
Not maybe, is a suspect. Yeah. So you don't want to go.
Yeah.
So if you're doing your flight plan where you should go directly straight ahead, you don't have to go around and all of that. So a 1 hour flight, for instance, now becomes a 3 hours flight, which would definitely impact on the departure of successive flights from that destination. So there are a whole lot of things. And again, on the side of the airline, it's their maintenance culture.
Okay.
Do you get? Because everybody wants to fly from point A to point B safely. And it's not like your car that you have a leaking carburetor or something and you can manage the next stop. You're up there. So everything has to be on point before you depart. if you don't have a store that keeps spares for your airplanes, you may have to stay or spend more ground time trying to fix a problem, and that would create a delay. So all of these things usually come under the terminology of operational delay. Cause of delay due operational reasons.
If you start calling them human error.
No, are they human errors?
Because these things are avoidable.
Human
Yes, thank you. Human factor.
I don't completely agree. Because maybe I've not mentioned the last part. When you're talking about weather, it's not human.
Okay, so
that's the God factor.
Okay, yes, weather we have no control over.
Yeah.
But increasing the number of screening machines.
Yeah.
Saving the lives of animals. Avoiding killing innocent animals is human factor. And then which other one did he mention again? Maintenance, making sure that the aircraft are human factor. So that means that bird strike could have been there are things people can do to avoid bird strikes.
A lot of stuff they can do
like
to avoid
bird
strikes.
Shooting.
That shooting style is something that they used to do back in the 80s. Well, we still do it now.
Okay.
But in other climes, they have some kind of equipment that emits some radio sounds or waves that would naturally dispel those birds from coming to that area. Because naturally birds are gravitated towards their food, which is insects and all of that come up around where you have grassland. And you have a lot of grassland around airports.
Yes.
So they come there to feed, and in the bit of doing that, they disrupt operations. So like when it rains, I don't know. I grew up in the village. I don't know about you. There's this insect that normally comes out. We
used to roast
and eat with
chinge
with popo gari
inside water.
I don't know the English name.
I don't. You never know the English name of
edible
those
termites.
Like you have edible ones. So when it rains here,
in Igbo, that's the name in Igbo.
Yes.
When it rains here, you see that they actually gather around the air side because it's an open space and all of that. So the airport authorities are laden with the responsibility to make sure that that doesn't happen. Because if it happens, you are looking at those small insects. In themselves, they don't pose any danger to operations at that point. But when the birds start coming to look for them to feed, that's a big problem. And that needs to be addressed.
So how is there a way they can make those things not come there?
Well, it's nature. You don't control nature. They may not be able to make them not come there. But they may be able to ensure that the birds don't come there.
For them.
Yeah, because I always ask myself these things. How are they able to ensure these things don't happen in other climes? They bring in technology. So those kind of technology should come here.
Yes.
Because how effective is going out to the air side to shoot a gun and crackers and all of that? It's not as effective as if it would be like the bird will see that area, but it just know they can't come there because of the electronic devices that they've put in place to dispel them. So that's what I think that they should do. Because trust me, those little things that seem insignificant can cause a major accident. Can cause protracted delays. But all of these things, the passengers are unaware of. So basically, what causes delays, in my opinion, are these things I've mentioned, and what we call, what's that word I'm looking for now? Reactive. Is it reactive?
Or a ripple effect?
No. There's this what I'm looking at. Yeah, a ripple effect. That's the essential thing. But is the thing that moves point A action to point B effect. If this happens, then it will cause it's like a cause and effect relationship between the delay you're experiencing and what has caused it from the start.
So it's ripple effect.
Yes, ripple effect. That's more like it.
So, Mr. Ifeanyi, you've listened to a lot of this. As a frequent traveler, I'm sure you must have experienced some form of delays at different points. Can we hear your experience? A lot. Okay, can you give us one?
Not just me, but he mentioned 30 minutes to 1 hour delay.
Okay.
But most of the time, you can have flights for 6:30 a.m. and it's moved to 3. So that is the main factor that people complain about, because you flying, you know the reason why you're flying, especially local flights. You want to catch up with something early, and then you have flight by 6:30 a.m. It's moved to 3. So that is why people get flared up and they are complaining a lot. But if it's just 30 minutes, 1 hour, you can actually,
Yeah, you can take it.
you can take it
You can
and
manage and adjust.
go eat food before you are back. You are done.
3. That's
Yes.
breakfast, lunch, and almost dinner.
Yes.
Waiting for a flight.
And not just 3. One of the experiences, it was even shifted. Like, apart from moving it to later hours of the day, it was totally cancelled for that day. And it's crazy. So, like, there is nothing you tell someone on that flight.
Wait.
that you
Let's
will listen
understand.
to
You mean there was a flight?
Yes.
You people reported to the airport, and then it was cancelled.
It was, first of all, moved
Delayed.
to later hours of the day, around 3. And subsequently, it was cancelled for that day.
I know that airline, but don't mention them. Don't mention them.
It was cancelled totally.
So now, in this kind of situation, were you people briefed on why it happened?
You don't really get a direct brief. You just cluster, and a lot of people are complaining.
I think that's a lot not to brief. Why do you think?
No serious. Nobody comes to really address you. That's why some people get to.
So what do you? In fact, he's the best person to answer this.
Yes.
He's a station manager.
You.
They are the ones
Okay.
that.
let me just comment like this now.
Okay.
When you're having such delays that eventually become a cancellation, there are also a plethora of reasons that could happen. Number one, like I've enumerated earlier on, it could be weather. And one thing that we should note here is not all the airports in Nigeria can be flown into past 6 p.m. or what we call sunset. Some airports are sunset limited, meaning at a certain time you can't fly into those airports. And another thing I'd like you to realize that when you say like a Lagos to Abuja flight, it doesn't mean that's the entire flight that the airline does. We have what we call a flight program. Okay. Meaning that I have 10 aircraft and I'm doing XYZ number of flights. These aircraft, they have a permissive number of landings they can do per day. The crew, they have a permissible number of hours they can fly per day. So let's do a small analogy. I'm supposed to do a flight that does Lagos, Abuja, Abuja, Owerri, Owerri, Abuja, Abuja, Lagos. Then on the Lagos-Abuja leg, I experienced what we call a bird strike. Inward Abuja, birds swarm into my engines and I'm grounded. What does that mean? Abuja Owerri is on standby. Owerri back to Abuja is on standby. That's 2 sectors. And Abuja back to Lagos is also on standby. 3 sectors. Now, like I said, it's a flight program. You have 10 aircraft and you are doing maybe 80 flights in a day for that particular airline. So I know if I wait until the snag caused by the bird strike is cleared, I'll probably be giving extra hours delay to Owerri.
Okay.
Owerri is a destination that you cannot fly into after 6. Okay. It's not. They don't have the night flight operations into Owerri for obvious reasons. They don't have edge lights, approach lights, and all of that. So once it is sunset, you can't fly into Owerri. Knowing that and not wanting to disappoint my Owerri-bound passengers, I'll look for, as a businessman, as an aviator, I'll look, okay, I can fly into Port Harcourt 24 hours. I can fly into Abuja 24 hours. I can ask for an extension in XYZ station, but I need to fulfill this Owerri obligation. So what do? I go into my flight program and I steal, in quotes, one of the airplane doing a particular sector.
Like a 24-hour airport.
Good. Just to satisfy the one who has closure time of 6.
Time, yes. Okay.
So, more like you are digging a hole to cover another hole. Do you get what I'm saying?
And the problem is created for that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
So that is why you see flights that are supposed to leave at 3 p.m., 3 p.m. going later than that. And if for any reason I am trying to fulfill that obligation in the Owerri sector, I still encounter another challenge. It could be weather, it could be bird strike, it could be animals on the runway. It means that your own flight going to Port Harcourt, for instance, if I stole from your sector, will be further delayed.
Okay.
Then, sorry, before you go, there's this pertinent fact that I have to put on ground.
Okay.
Which bothers around the behavior of Nigerian passengers.
Okay.
Their reactions to delays. Now, because I have delayed Abuja to Owerri, and in the same Abuja station, I have Abuja to Port Harcourt, I have Abuja to Asaba, I have Abuja back to Lagos. Then the Owerri passengers are saying, why are we not boarding our flight that's supposed to be leaving at 9:30? And you want to board a flight that's going to Lagos that's supposed to be 10:30. They now do what? They now go and block the boarding gate.
Okay.
And say, until you take me to Owerri, you ain't going nowhere. So that perpetuates us in that delay. And what you have successfully done is spreading it out to other destinations. Because the aircraft you're stopping from leaving has other obligations to other stations. And what I'm saying is live. You can find out from the FAAN fan.
Yeah.
These things happen sometimes for 2, 3, 4 hours. They will not let any aircraft depart from that destination. Not only the airline that is even operating that service, but other airlines. So that airport is shut down because passengers have become irate.
This is Already by Mama.
But what is the solution to those kind of passengers?
There's a solution, and we've had this talk many times with the regulatory bodies. That's the NCAA. I think they need to do more when it comes to educating the flying public on what their rights are when you have flight disruptions. Because I think some of them act out of ignorance. And instead of solving the problem, they create more problems. Because, again, it also has, the airlines also do have a responsibility to talk to these passengers. But like I said earlier,
Most of the time, they don't.
Well, I'm not making an excuse for the airlines, but I'll try to just let us have a reason.
Before we throw shade at the passengers,
Yeah.
the airlines have more blame to take, because when you don't address your customer, he has that obligation to act or react in a certain way. So that is why you might find some people go to block others from moving. And in that scenario, you might tag them disrupting the activities. Yes. But then they actually, if you ask them, they will tell you they are expressing their rights, because they are supposed to move. They don't have any tangible reason to be held down, but others are moving. So before we tag them, we need to also find a way to address, because I'm one of them, I'm the customer.
Agreed.
Okay, so in essence, what you're saying is, if your flight is delayed and the airline tells you why, or a passenger why, they will most likely not behave like that.
Yes, human reaction differs. But then when you give someone a substantial reason for what is happening or what the delay is about, the person will definitely find reasons to be more subtle and calm down. But then if there is none, people behavioral activities differs. So people can behave anyhow. Yes.
I'm inclined to disagree with you that there's none. Because
in most cases, or in some cases.
So why I say I disagree is the fact that there's always a cause and effect relationship between everything we do. Some airlines may not do the first step, which is informing passengers physically at the airport why they're having a delay, because over time we have seen that passengers become physically abusive of airline staff. I have a few colleagues that have been beaten and hospitalized So nobody wants to put themselves out there. Yes. Nobody wants to put themselves out there. Someone just comes at you. And I am not joking when I say some even go spiritual.